Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel, and let me start by apologizing for the solid month that I've not had a chance to put together any content. Life's been pretty hectic with work and schedules, but today we are going to be digging all of our garlic and our walking onions that we planted back in November. And if you haven't seen it, there is a video on the channel where we planted everything. Also to note that at the urging of some friends and some fans, I did start a page on Instagram for the channel. It's still in its infancy, but I'm hoping to build that up and kind of use it to tell people in advance where I'm going to be hiking and other things I'm going to be doing. So you can find it on Instagram. It's Peaceful Valley Outdoors 13. And with all that aside, we're going to go ahead and start digging and see what we end up with. So next up, we're going to start digging the Egyptian onions, or as most people know them as walking onions. And there are a lot of videos on YouTube that kind of cover this plant, all the little details and facts about them. But the unique thing is that on the top of the stalks, they form these little clusters of bulbules, and as the stalk gets weighed down, it's going to bend, and anywhere that this cluster touches the ground is going to be where your next plant starts growing. So the process is going to repeat until you have onions that essentially just walk from place to place, growing new plants. And one thing to note, if you dig up one of these plants, you can essentially just pull the bulbule off and put it right back in the same hole, and that's how you end up with a never-ending supply of onions. So we're going to go ahead and get started and dig these up and see what kind of harvest we end up with out of them. Alright, so this is what we ended up with after we finished digging today, and as you can see in the bowl, it is filled with all the little bulbules that came off the top of the plants. And looking at the bowl, you can tell there is a ton here, and that is going to be what we replant next year so that the crop continues, and obviously the harvest is going to be even bigger then. So it's an endless supply of onions if you rotate it right. Walking onions, just a few notes. They range from hot to sweet depending on the size of the bulb, and everything is edible from the bulb to the greens. Even the bulbules themselves you can eat like small pearl onions if you want to. So the garlic ended up with about 120 plants that we pulled out, and there's also a small little patch we haven't gotten to, so that number's going to go up. And so we're really happy with that number. It just needs to dry, and then it'll be at the farmer's market as well. So eventually I'm going to head out into the garden and kind of give a walkthrough of everything that's up and everything that's producing. But until then, I just want to say thanks to everybody for coming back, and not to worry, I do have a number of hiking trips planned and kayaking trips planned for the next month or so. So if you do enjoy the content, I really appreciate you coming back, and if you like it, think about subscribing, liking, and sharing it with your friends, and I will see everybody out on the trails.